Hi, I'm Peter, and this is the Peter on Health channel. This video is called Choppin Wood. This is the first video I've posted in about 7 months, and the reason for the gap was that my wife and I sold our old place in Silicon Valley, and we moved about 50 miles south. Our old place was a clearing in a vast forest in the south of Silicon Valley. And our new place is a flat sort of farmland, 5-acre place, where the whole area that we live in is very pastoral and farmland and horse country. And there's views of mountains in the distance, but everybody's land is pretty much flat, especially compared with the hilly place that we left. In terms of firewood, why I even mention that, it has a great bearing on wood chopping for me, and this video is about wood chopping. And an example, case in point, was the atmospheric river storm that came to the Bay Area a few weeks ago and drenched the entire Bay Area, north, south, east, west. What it did in our old place, in the middle of the forest, it dropped a massive old oak tree, so that needs to be turned into firewood. And it toppled a pomegranate tree that needs to be restored. At our new place down here in the farmland, all it did was there was a big old pepper tree and one branch, decent size, snapped off. Took me less than an hour to process that into logs like this and by hand. So basically, there's a lot less wood processing and a lot less firewood I'm going to have down here. So I'm going to end up doing stuff a lot more by hand, I think, than with my chainsaw and my tractor, just because I want the exercise. Because as you'll see here, there's a great deal of exercise in what I do here, and it's exercise that I love and I think is really beneficial. So quickly, what you're looking at here is my chopping wood pile. And what you see in the middle of the picture is the current firewood pile that I'm building. In the back here, under the tarp, is the firewood that we're burning this winter. It's seasoned. What that means is that the water that's in the that was in the wood has left. It's evaporated. And when wood doesn't have water anymore, firewood, and you bang it together, it makes a ping sound, ping, versus a thud. So this wood is ready to burn right now, and this wood will be burning next winter and winters to come. That's a lot of wood. We're not going to burn that in our little old new house. Anyway, what this here is 6-foot logs of oak that I brought from the old place on another oak tree that fell a couple months ago. And I need to cut these into 14 to 18-inch logs that I can split and toss on the pile. And these are the logs that are ready to be split. And so I'm in the middle of splitting this guy right here. And then when I split it into pieces that are small enough, I toss it on the pile. So let's get into the why. Why do I chop wood? The first obvious reason is heat. This is a specific fireplace that's high efficiency for the environment, good for the environment, catalytic combustor, blah blah blah, nice blower, heat. But it requires power. But this actual fireplace we put into our old place, and we ripped it out because we didn't need 2 fireplaces. It was overkill. It's sitting on a pallet under a tarp at our new place, and we're debating whether to install that here. But our experience in the old place was the power went out and then you couldn't run the fireplace. We might get a wood stove because wood stoves don't require power, and you can also boil your kettle in the morning on the top. So we'll see. It's to be done. But like the point there is the main reason for doing this work is, to heat your house. It's sort of about health, but, this is more about health. The mental part of chopping wood. There's a famous Zen quote: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And it's about, taking your ego out of chopping wood. Don't be all proud of my pile and, like whatever, need appreciation for the wood I'm bringing into the house, that warms the house, all that stuff. It's just work. We're bodies, we're meant to do work, and this is work, and just do it without complaint, without pride, without anything, and do it meditatively, and that's the way I use it. Like many of you, I make my money doing what I'm doing right now, sitting on my ass looking at a computer. Now I have a standing desk, so I might be standing looking at a computer. It's not the healthiest things for our bodies, dynamic, and but it's how we make our money. So what I like to do is do my business work in the morning with my sharper brain, and maybe I'll do some analysis, maybe I'll have some Zoom calls or whatever. But by late morning, midday, I might have a break, and if I do, I'll head out to the wood pile and chop some wood, and I do it as a meditative thing. It's let me show you how I do it, and this will lead me to my next exercise, why I like it. Here's the splitter. Okay, long pipe, heavy. It's actually 15 pounds. I weighed it. I was shocked. 15 pounds. This thing is. It's heavy. A baseball bat is 2 or 3 pounds, right? You can swing it. So the way I use it to chop wood is, I lift it up off the ground. I grab the head with my left hand, and I bring it in a circle, like so. I'm not going to do it in the room here because I'd hit the ceiling, but you can see how I bring it up, and then once I have it above my head, I bring it straight down onto the wood with force and violence, and it's kind of like the motion of throwing a ball. Like that, right? And you can keep it going, and you can get quite a lather going. And 15 pounds is kind of heavy to do that with, right? So there's a little bit of effort. This thing wouldn't have any much effort because you can see the wood grain is all straight. So this will be one strike, boom, and it splits, boom, and it splits. But some of these have knots in them, and they take 2 or 3 hits in the same spot. And they take hard hits, and you really gotta bring it, and that'll get the heart going. So it's just giving you some notion. So there's meditation, but there's also some kind of strength. Let me play a little video for you.
Hey, go. Bye. Bye, Oak. Do your strongman arms.
That was my wife's voice. She's got a good sense of humor. So what that was I think this piece right here, right? I cut it from this tree that fell some months ago at the old place, and put the pieces in my minivan. Drove the minivan 50 miles south and put it in this area. Okay, that sucker full of water, over 100 pounds. I don't know how much exactly, but you saw I had to get in a squat to pick it up. I wasn't just going to pick it up with my arms. I had to pick it up with my whole body, my legs, quad, and everything. Pick it up, and then, like CrossFit training, walk over to a minivan and set it in there. So there's a bit of strength training you could see in just bringing the wood to the area to chop, right? And that kind of work is strength training, but there's really not enough about it in the modern world. I mean, even me doing this retro wood chopping, I'm not getting that much upper body. What I do for upper body is we have a tonal at our place, and tonal is an amazing machine. There's our tonal. So we installed it in our family room kitchen. I do partner workouts with my wife on it. I do remote workouts with a good friend who lives in San Francisco. And that's between the two of those, I'd get 3 to 5 workouts a week, and sometimes 6. And what it does for me is build the strength of my upper body mostly. I mean, it's, core and lower body's getting stronger, but they were already pretty strong. But upper body is really, really getting worked out because, this wood chopping really, has some strength, but not a lot. What it really has is something called HIIT, high intensity interval training. I showed you the method at which I use it, and depending on the rate and the speed and the effort I'm hitting, the wood with, my heart rate can come up. Now, I'd say I get into this high intensity, level of work, but mostly I would say it's something called this. Moderate intensity continuing training. It's like walking fast, jogging. It's kind of a lower heart rate that you more continuously do. And so I vacillate between mist and hit when I'm chopping wood. But either way, it's a form of interval training and cardio. And when I say interval, because I'll take a piece of wood, like say this guy, and I'll split until I get it into pieces small enough that I can toss with, and I toss with both hands. I toss right hand and then I toss left hand. So I pick up 2 pieces and I try to hit the top of the pile. It's a game, and it's really fun when it piles up and then they all collapse and then you keep redoing it. Anyway, this is my fun. But what the process is, I chop until it's all ready to toss. Then I put the splitter down and I toss. The toss is the interval, right? So then that's the, it's not doing nothing, because you're still, tossing these pieces onto the pile, but it's not as intensive as, the splitting. So this is really a hit to mist, kind of activity. So that's the exercise of it. And I'll say it really warms me up, and sometimes I use it as a warm-up for a tonal workout. Like if I'm doing I do late afternoon workouts with my friend in San Francisco, I might come out an hour before that and just chop some wood just to loosen up these old shoulders, for pulling on the tonal cables. Now get into the last 2 health benefits of why I do what I love about wood chop and how I do it. I do it shirtless. So that was another image. It was a self-image I took. There, so there's me taking a selfie at my wood pile. And my question for you is it too late, for me to become an Instagram model? I'm telling you, for an old guy like me, just the notion of an Instagram model is a funny thing. Anyway, I walked into the kitchen like this with my shirt off, and I asked my wife that question. Hey, you think it's too late for me to be an Instagram model? And my wife, without missing a beat, says no, but we'd have to shave your chest and get you breast implants. She has a great wit. But I think Tonal's put a little bit of muscle on those old man boobs. But but look at all this this fur. This is what happens when you get old. It leaves the top of your head and it moves south. So, but why would I do that? You know, the socially bad thing. Take my shirt off. Synthesis in the skin, vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. I want more surface of my skin available to the sun. And I know that we're in November now, but I've read that there's possibly still UVB in the middle of the day. You know, like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And so that's when if I'm looking for vitamin D in the winter, that's what I'm doing. Like today was a sunny day, nice 65 at 12:30, 65 degrees, and this gets you warm wood chopping. So there I am, shirtless, in the sun, splitting wood, getting vitamin D. So that's one thing I do. One reason I do it. The other thing is not that. I want to go to another picture. And it's that. I don't just do it shirtless. I do it barefoot. I split wood barefoot. And you're saying, what? What are you thinking there, right? Well, just don't hit your toes. But why would I do it barefoot? Now, this is more speculative science I'm going to go into here. This is about something called it's in the evening and I can't pronounce it. Anyway, it's that word. And it's called earth current. And basically this is electricity, electrons, coming from the ground. Okay, and the more in the winter it's better because it's a little moist, and so there's more electrons. And so the reason I go barefoot is to get electrons passing through the bottom of my feet. And why would I want to do that? Something called the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle is the cycle in all of our bodies, the purpose of which is to generate ATP. And so just like the US dollar is the currency used, for all money in the US, well, now there's crypto, but ATP is the currency of energy in our bodies. And what happens when we become obese or old is ATP, this process gums up and we have less energy. And so for an anti-aging purpose, I've heard some people say, well, why don't you supplement with NAD or NADH? And because NAD is a key it's a reducing agent which donates an electron. So it's donating electrons to this cycle. Okay? So here's the thing about me going barefoot. And this is not science, it's speculative, but I'd rather not take NAD. I like more from gaming, but it's the way I like to approach things. Why would I take a supplement if I could go barefoot in the winter and other times, that the ground is, especially in the morning, and get electrons from the ground right into my feet? Just like going shirtless and I get vitamin D, I go shoeless and I get electrons that are donated to my Krebs cycle and keep me youthful. That might be a nutty thought, to be sure. But this is the end of the video. You could see I've thought a lot about wood chopping in some possibly weird ways. But it is easily one of the top couple things I do in terms of exercise in my life. I mean, I look forward to it. I wake up sometimes with an itch to do it. Even at my advanced age, at 58, I invite friends over to see if they like it. Because I only started doing it in my 40s, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe nobody brought me into this, before that age. So there you have it. That's wood chopping for you.